All right, so here's a trace on the following code for quiz 2. It's question 8 and 9. It's basically asking what happens after you print out RC, which is a collection, an array of R1 and R2, which we created, after you create a new R1. So if we were to explain this by just kind of picture diagrams, before we define initially R1 to be a rectangle with length 10 and height 20, and then R2 to be length 30, height 50. Then we pass these into an object called RC, which stores them as an array. Now the thing is that this object, it saves them. So when we say new R1 rectangle 40, 50, this R1 here, it still exists. It doesn't get overwritten. It's almost like how a string is created if you were to say new string. It still exists, and therefore it's saved in here. But the difference is R1 is now not pointing to it. It's now pointing to a new rectangle, and this length here is going to be 40, 50. Length slash height here. So then when it says prints out the rc.toString, it's still printing these two because this still exists. It's just nothing's pointing to it. It exists in Java's memory. The difference in question 9 though is when it says what does it say? It says R2.moveUp, which basically means as it's defined here, just the height increases by 1. Now in this case, R2 is still a pointer to R2. Like it still points there. This is still going there. Just connect that to the arrow there. And since no new R2 is created, it still modifies what's saved inside the list here, which is why it would print out 30, 51. So the answer to Q8 should actually be 10, 20, and then it should be 30 and 50. Because this is the original R1 that's saved in here, and R2 down here. And then for Q9, I'll just make a line here. This is Q9. Should be 10, 20, and then 30 and 51. Because the R2 move up, actually I've modified that, it still points there. This R1 points there, or is still in there, but since this R1 points there, it wouldn't actually change that.